Good evening and welcome to News Tonight on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Tina Jha. Before we begin the bulletin, Rajya Sabha TV appeals to all its viewers to stay safe from the COVID-19 pandemic. Wear face masks, wash hands and face regularly, and maintain physical distancing while stepping outside. Remember, these simple precautions are all that it takes to defeat the pandemic. And now, let's get you the headlines of the day. Coronavirus vaccines start reaching destinations across the country. By tomorrow, 1.65 crore doses to be delivered. Process monitored through the Kovind application. Prime Minister Modi to launch vaccination campaign on the 16th of January. The Indian Air Force to get 83 indigenous light combat aircraft Tejas. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh asserts Tejas will form the backbone of the Indian Air Force's fighter fleet in the years to come. Pradhan, Mantri, Fasal, Bima, Yojna completes 5 years. Prime Minister Modi says crores of farmers benefited. 90,000 crore rupees distributed since its inception on 13 January 2016. And President Nath, Kovind, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi greet people at the start of the Harvest Festival, Makar Sankranti, Pongal and Bihu to be celebrated tomorrow. Well, ahead of the vaccination rollout on the 16th of January, India continues to report sustained decline in the daily new cases. 15,968 new COVID-19 cases were reported in the last 24 hours. India's total cases have crossed 1.49 crore. The total active caseload has fallen to 2.14 lakh, comprising only 2.04% of the total positive cases. India's daily new fatalities have also declined substantially. 202 deaths were reported in the last 24 hours, taking the total death tally in the country to 1,51,529. With 17,817 recoveries also reported in the last 24 hours, the total number of recoveries in the country have crossed 1.01 crore. The national recovery rate has increased to 96.51%. Talking about the tests, over 8,36,000 samples were tested on Tuesday. So far, more than 18 crore 34 lakh samples have been tested in different parts of the country. Kerala continues to report the highest daily new cases at 5,507, followed by Maharashtra with 2,936 new cases, while Karnataka reported 751 new cases. Maharashtra saw the maximum casualties at 50, Kerala reported 25, while West Bengal reported 18 daily deaths on Tuesday. Meanwhile, 102 people have been infected with the new mutated UK coronavirus strain across the country. Talking about the vaccination drive, from Assam to Goa and from Jammu and Kashmir to Kerala, India's drive against COVID-19 gathered momentum on Wednesday. Planes carrying vaccines landed at airports of different cities across the country, from where they will be taken to small cities and towns for the inoculation drive that is set to begin on the 16th of January. Here's a detailed report. preparation for the world's largest coronavirus vaccination rollout, 3 temperature-controlled trucks carried over 56 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses out of the Serum Institute of India's production plant in Pune at 5 a.m. on Tuesday. The first batches reached Delhi, Kolkata, Mumbai, Chennai, Kochi, Hyderabad, Bengaluru, Vijayawada, Panji, Ahmedabad, Rajkot, Lucknow, Varanasi, Patna, Ranchi, Jamshedpur, Bhopal, Chandigarh, Karnal, Kurukshetra, Bhubaneswar, Guwahati, Shillong and Agartala. In the 4 major zonal centres, Delhi, Kolkata, Bengaluru and Chennai, these doses were taken to hospitals for distribution to thousands of nursing homes, hospitals and dispensaries across 718 districts. Bharat Biotech has so far airshipped Covaxin to 11 cities and donated 16.5 lakh doses to the centre. The vaccines have been shipped to Vijayawada, Guwahati, Patna, Delhi, Kurukshetra, Bengaluru, Pune, Bhubaneswar, Jaipur, Chennai and Lucknow.
4 बड़े स्टोर्स हैं जिनमें ये वैक्सीन आ रही है जो भारत सरकार के हैं. उनको हम GMSD कहते हैं. करनाल में, कलकत्ता में, चेन्नई में और मुंबई में. हर राज्य में एक न एक रीजनल वैक्सीन स्टोर है. दीज आर ऑल टेम्परेचर कंट्रोल्ड स्टोर्स. लेकिन कुछ राज्य हैं, बड़े राज्य, जहां एक से ज़्यादा हैं. उत्तर प्रदेश में 9 ऐसे रीजनल वैक्सीन स्टोर हैं. मध्य प्रदेश में 4 हैं, गुजरात में 4 हैं, केरल में 3 हैं, जम्मू कश्मीर में 2, कर्नाटक में 2 और राजस्थान में 2. तो इन सभी स्थानों पर ये वैक्सीन मैन्युफैक्चरर द्वारा प्राप्त होगी और वहाँ से फिर राज्य सरकारों की जवाबदेही है कि वो उसको डाउन द कोल्ड चेन ट्रांसपोर्ट करें.
Nearly 3 crore healthcare and frontline workers will get the vaccine starting 16th January. The list includes health workers from government and private institutions, sanitation workers, frontline workers, defense forces, police and other paramilitary forces. 2 vaccine doses will be given at a 28-day interval. They will become effective 14 days after the second dose.
भारत सरकार ने 110 लाख डोजेज कोविशील्ड वैक्सीन की SII यानी सीरम इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ इंडिया से एट द कॉस्ट ऑफ ₹200 पर डोज प्रोक्योरमेंट करने का एग्रीमेंट किया है. इसी प्रकार भारत सरकार ने कोवैक्सीन वैक्सीन की 55 लाख डोजेज भारत बायोटेक से प्रोक्योर करने का निर्णय लिया है. ये जो 55 लाख हैं, इनमें से 38,50,000 डोजेज ऐसी हैं जिनकी कीमत ₹295 प्रति डोज है. BBIL is providing 16.50 lakh doses of Covaxin free of cost to the central government as a special gesture. 100% doses 14 जनवरी 2021 तक रिसीव हो जाएंगी. When I say 100%, उसका अर्थ है 1 करोड़ 10 लाख डोजेज जो कि SII से आएंगी और 55 लाख डोजेज जो कि भारत बायोटेक लिमिटेड से आएंगी.
The government has developed the Kovind or COVID Vaccine Intelligence Network app for real-time monitoring of the vaccine delivery and distribution. The app can record vaccine data after registration by the user. Over 78 lakh beneficiaries have been registered on Kovind software so far.
टीकाकरण अभियान में सबसे अहम उनकी पहचान और मॉनिटरिंग का है जिनको टीका लगाना है. इसके लिए आधुनिक टेक्नोलॉजी का उपयोग करते हुए कोविन नाम का एक डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म भी बनाया गया है. आधार की मदद से लाभार्थियों की पहचान भी की जाएगी और उनको दूसरी डोज समय पर मिले, ये भी सुनिश्चित किया जाएगा.
India's drug regulator has approved emergency use of 2 COVID-19 vaccines, Covishield and Covaxin. Covishield is developed by Oxford University and British-Swedish company AstraZeneca and manufactured by Serum Institute of India, headquartered in Pune. While Covaxin has indigenously been developed by Hyderabad-based Bharat Biotech in collaboration with the Indian Council of Medical Research and National Institute of Virology. The government has ordered over 6 crore doses of COVID vaccines from the Serum Institute and Bharat Biotech at the cost of 1,300 crore rupees. Serum Institute is supplying 1.1 crore doses at a price of 200 rupees per dose. The first 55 lakh doses of Covaxin from Bharat Biotech will cost 206 rupees per dose. With inputs from Aruna Thakur, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. Moving on to some other news now. In a major decision, the government on Wednesday approved the procurement of 83 indigenously developed light combat aircraft Tejas for the Indian Air Force at a cost of 48,000 crore rupees. The decision was taken at a meeting of the Cabinet Committee on Security, chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The Cabinet Committee on Security approved procurement of 73 light combat aircraft Tejas Mk-1A fighter aircraft and 10 LCA Tejas Mk-1 trainer aircraft. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh said Tejas is going to be the backbone of the fighter fleet of the Indian Air Force in the years to come. The government also approved the Memorandum of Understanding on Scientific and Technical Cooperation between National Centre of Meteorology of the United Arab Emirates and the Ministry of Earth Sciences. The MOU will enable sharing of knowledge, data and operational products for meteorological, seismological and oceanic services between both the countries. The Supreme Court has appointed a committee to resolve the ongoing deadlock between farmers and the central government. All 4 members of the committee are eminent agricultural experts with a track record of articulating farmers' issues. Here's a report. The Supreme Court appointed committee to resolve the deadlock between farmers and the government has 4 eminent agriculture experts. The panel has been asked to hold talks with farmers and submit its report within 2 months. With its office in Delhi, it will start work within 10 days. The committee consists of agricultural economist Ashok Gulati, currently Infosys Chair Professor for Agriculture at the Indian Council for Research on International Economic Relations. He is also a member of the Task Force on Agriculture under Niti Aayog and Chairman of the Expert Group on Agriculture Market Reforms. He was awarded the Padma Shri in 2015. Dr. Pramod Joshi is the Director for South Asia at the International Food Policy Research Institute. Prior to this, he worked as the Director of the National Academy of Agricultural Research Management in Hyderabad. Bhupender Singh Maan is the National President of Bharatiya Kisan Union and Chairman of the All India Kisan Coordination Committee. In 1990, he was nominated to the Rajya Sabha for his contribution to farmers' struggle. While farmer leader Anil Ghanwat is also a part of the committee, he is the president of the Shetkari Sangathan, the Maharashtra-based farmers' union founded by Sharad Joshi in 1979.
माननीय सर्वोच्च न्यायालय ने जो अभी किसानों के बिल के संदर्भ में समिति का गठन किया है, इस पर मुझे उम्मीद है कि इस समिति द्वारा निश्चित ही एक ऐसा सुझाव आएगा जो किसानों के लिए भी हितकर होगा और सरकार की जो अपेक्षाएं हैं इस बिल के साथ उसके प्रारूप को भी अच्छे रूप में प्रस्तुत करने का एक सुझाव आएगा.
The centre told the Supreme Court that there are inherent safeguards in the new agri laws to protect the land of the farmers. With inputs from Ravindra Singh Sharan, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. The Pradhan Fasal Bima Yojna completed 5 years today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi called the scheme an important initiative to protect hard-working farmers from the vagaries of nature. Launched on 13th of January 2016, under the One Nation, One Scheme, the Fasal Bima Yojna aims to provide a comprehensive risk solution at the lowest uniform premium. The Pradhan Fasal Bima Yojna completed 5 years on Wednesday. Prime Minister Modi congratulated all beneficiaries and said the scheme had increased coverage, mitigated risk and benefited crores of farmers. The Prime Minister also asked people to get information on how the Pradhan Fasal Bima Yojna has helped farmers with his Namo app.
मेरी फसल गेहूं की ओले से जो ओला पड़ा था उससे काफ़ी नुकसान हुआ था, जिसके एग्रीकल्चर इंश्योरेंस कंपनी बीमा कंपनी जो है उसमें मैंने शिकायत दर्ज कराई थी, तो उसका सर्वे हुआ. उसके बाद में मुझे बीमे का पैसा जो रकम होती है वो मुझे मिली. मैं इससे संतुष्ट हूँ.
पिछले साल महाराष्ट्र में भारी वर्षा के कारण हमें सोयाबीन में बहुत भारी नुकसान आया और हमने प्रधानमंत्री किसान बीमा योजना के अंतर्गत हमें अर्ज भरा था, उसमें हमें 10,000 रुपए उसमें मिल गए।
According to Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar, 29 crore farmers have insured their crops under the scheme. He said the Fasal Bima Yojna has been made voluntary and the scheme is linked with technology.
अभी तक इस योजना में 25 करोड़ से अधिक किसान बीमित हो चुके हैं। प्रतिवर्ष लगभग 5 करोड़ किसान नए जुड़ रहे हैं और अभी तक अगर हम देखेंगे तो लगभग 14 से लेकर 19 के बीच में 16,000 करोड़ रुपया किसानों का प्रीमियम के रूप में जमा हुआ और उसके विरुद्ध उनके नुकसान की जो भरपाई है वो 86,000 करोड़ रुपया देकर की गई। और अभी तक अगर हम देखेंगे तो 90,000 करोड़ रुपया किसानों को नुकसान की भरपाई के रूप में दिए जा चुके हैं।
The Pradhan Fasal Bima Yojna gets over 5.5 crore farmer applications. Till date, claims worth 90,000 crore have already been paid out. The Agriculture Ministry said the average sum insured per hectare has increased from 15,100 rupees during the pre-scheme days to 40,700 at present. The premium cost of the scheme over and above the farmer's share is equally subsidized by the centre and states. Aadhaar seeding has helped in speedy claim settlement directly into the farmers' accounts. Even during the COVID lockdown, nearly 70 lakh farmers benefited and claims worth 8,741 crore rupees were transferred to beneficiaries.
अगर मोटा मोटा देखें कंप्लीट एग्रीगेशन, तो कंप्लीट एग्रीगेशन में 5 साल में 90,000 करोड़ का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन हुआ है। अगर इसका स्प्रेड देखें तो आज के दिन हर साल 5.5 करोड़ किसान भाई इसमें अपना दावा फाइल करते हैं।
To constantly bring about improvements, the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojna was made voluntary for all farmers post its revamp in February 2020. The government urged the farmers to take advantage of the scheme by becoming self-sufficient in times of crisis and support the creation of an Atmanirbhar Kisan. With inputs from Mohammad Fateh Tipu, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. Forms for the notices of starred and unstarred questions for the calendar year 2021 have been made available in the notice office by the Rajya Sabha Secretariat. Members can give notices of questions apart from e-notices on these forms. A member would be issued up to 150 forms for notices of starred questions at the beginning of each session of Rajya Sabha, and additional forms, if required, may be obtained in batches of up to 50 forms. The Parliamentary Panel on Education, Women, Children, Youth Affairs and Sports met on Wednesday. On the agenda was discussion with the Secretary, Department of School Education and Literacy, along with representatives of NCERT and CBSE on reforms in the contents and designs of textbooks. The deliberations focused on removing references to unhistorical facts and distortions about national heroes from the textbooks, ensuring equal or proportionate references to all periods of Indian history, and also highlighting the role of great historic women heroes, including Gargi, Maitreyi, rulers like Rani of Jhansi, Rani Channamma, Chand Bibi, Jalkari Bai, etc. The panel is headed by Rajya Sabha MP Vinay Sahasrabuddhe. And Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla on Wednesday held a meeting with European Parliament President David Sassoli virtually. The two leaders discussed post-COVID cooperation, climate change, trade and investment, among others. They also called for further strengthening of the relationship between the two democracies. During the meeting, India proposed to form a joint speaker and MPs forum in order to strengthen bilateral ties. They shared the common belief that greater parliamentary exchange is important to realize the full potential of India-EU relationship. The Lok Sabha Speaker also said that India and the European Union jointly represent 22% of the world's population, adding that mutual cooperation can help strengthen democracy across the world.
दोनों संसदों में मिलकर किस तरीके से हम लोकतांत्रिक मूल्यों को और मजबूत करें और उस वैश्विक समुदाय को अधिक सहयोग और समन्वय के साथ हम बेहतर ढंग से चुनौतियों का मुकाबला कर सकें। भारत और यूरोपीय संघ के साथ हमारे संबंधों को हम बहुत महत्व देते हैं।
The 8-point action plan proposed by India to the United Nations Security Council is aimed at not only countering terrorism but eradicating it in the long term. Being a non-permanent member of the UNSC, India is expected to keep up the pressure on the top UN body to implement resolutions against terrorism in the days to come. Here's a report. India's action plan to combat terrorism attempts to hold governments accountable for the spread of terrorist activities. The action agenda, proposed by External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar to the UN Security Council, says governments are to blame for the emergence, spread and strengthening of terrorists.
Mr. Jaishankar has pointed out there are a lot of things that needs to be done to strengthen the global architecture for counter-terrorism. Now, the impact of his speech would be that it will raise awareness amongst the various nations that they should work towards making this counter-terrorism structure strong. And one hopes that the UN Security Council will take these 8 points seriously.
The 8-point action plan emphasizes that terrorism is an outcome of radicalization and extremism in a country. The External Affairs Minister has indicated that the internal politics of any nation should be conducted in such a manner so as not to damage its social fabric.
Exclusivist approaches, they foment radicalization, they foment separatism, and they foment mistrust. So all countries are required to follow policies which are inclusive, which take on board everybody's concern. And I think, and also each country need to spend resources on strengthening the internal counter-terrorism structures.
The formula calls for a strong political understanding at the level of governments and regimes across the world about sensitivity of the issue. Jaishankar suggested that not only should terrorists not be glorified, but there should be absolutely no double standards of exclusivist thinking. He has called for dispassionate assessment of terrorism's links with organized crime following the FATF guidelines.
Terrorism is a menace, everyone says it. But the question is how to fight it out. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has given a plan. Now it is up to UNFC how to act upon it. Akhilesh Suman for Rajya Sabha Television, with camera person D.K. Pandey in Delhi.
In some other news, Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa on Wednesday expanded his 17-month-old cabinet, inducting 7 ministers. Governor Vajupaiwala administered the oath of office and secrecy to the ministers at a ceremony held at the Raj Bhavan. This is the third expansion of the cabinet since Yediyurappa assumed charge in July 2019. President Nath, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Wednesday greeted citizens on the occasion of Lohri, Makar Sankranti, Pongal, Bhogali Bihu, Uttarayan and Posh Parv. Celebrated with different regional names across the country, these festivals are associated with the harvest season. President Nath greeted people on the occasion and wished for harmony, love and affection in the society. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu wished for happiness, good health and prosperity for all. In a Twitter message, the Vice President said that the harvest festivals are known for their colorful celebrations and symbolize good harvest and bounty of nature. The Vice President celebrated Bhogi with his family by gathering around the bonfire in Goa. Bhogi is the first day of the 4-day harvest festival of Pongal. Calling it a festival of change, the Vice President said that negative ideas are discarded and a new energy is welcomed into people's homes. It is symbolized by lighting a bonfire, which is also called Bhogi Mantalu. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also extended the festival greetings to people. He wished for joy and good health everywhere. Lohri is widely celebrated in Punjab and Haryana to mark the harvesting of rabi crops. People traditionally celebrate it by circling around bonfires, singing folk songs, dancing and feasting on the festive food. While Makar Sankranti marks Uttarayan, the beginning of the northward journey of the sun. So that's it from us in this bulletin. But before we leave, we once again appeal to all our viewers to stay safe from the COVID-19 pandemic. Wear face masks, wash your hands and face regularly, and maintain physical distancing while stepping outside. Remember, these simple precautions by you are all that it takes to defeat the ongoing pandemic. Good night, take care, and thank you very much for your time.